In the year 19 BBY, the newly formed Galactic Empire, with Emperor Palpatine as its leader, destroyed what was left of the Galactic Republic. Yoda tried to confront Darth Sidious in the Senate chambers but failed and was forced into exile on the planet Dagobah. But what if Yoda had actually defeated Palpatine in their epic duel? Would the Star Wars canon be drastically different? Could Yoda have stopped the rise of the Galactic Empire? And more importantly, could he have rebuilt the Jedi Order? My name is Connor and welcome to Star Wars Central. So, as you all remember, in Revenge of the Sith, Yoda confronted Sidious in the Senate chambers, and attempted to assassinate him before he could fully turn the Republic into the Galactic Empire. In this epic duel, most people think Yoda was winning. This is because Sidious was on the defensive for the majority of the fight, and only when he got distance from Yoda did the battle become more balanced. In the end, both sides seemed to be equal, and Yoda was forced to flee into exile on Dagobah. That is of course the story we all know and love, but what if it had gone differently? What if instead Yoda had defeated Sidious? Would there be any major changes, and would the Galactic Empire even continue to exist? Well, to answer this question, we need to know exactly what damage Palpatine had done. By the time Yoda confronted Palpatine, the Jedi Order was in ruins. Their seat of power for millennia, the Jedi Temple, had been destroyed, and the ranks of the Jedi Order had been decimated. Younglings, Masters, Knights and Padawans had all been slaughtered across the galaxy. Only a handful of Jedi remained with no safe method of contacting each other or even appearing in public. So could Yoda have recovered this if he had assassinated Palpatine? The short and disappointing answer is no. The Jedi Order was finished. Not only had Palpatine massacred the Order using the clone army across the galaxy, but the Clone Wars had shown the public the dark side of a handful of Jedi. Jedi like Pong Krell and Barriss Offee. While these were a tiny fraction of the total Jedi in the galaxy and not at all representative of the Jedi Order, unfortunately it was all Palpatine needed to run propaganda against the Jedi over the course of the war. Propaganda that destroyed the Jedi's image and allowed him to reduce their influence throughout the galaxy. If I'm going to be honest, Palpatine executed this move perfectly. There were lingering questions in the Senate, but for the most part, the people of the galaxy were completely misled. So even if Yoda had defeated Sidious and was able to attempt to explain the Jedi side of the story, it's very, very unlikely the Jedi Order could have returned to its status before the Clone Wars. Many people across the galaxy had come to view the Jedi with contempt and distrust, so in conclusion, the damage was already done. But what about the Republic? Could Yoda have prevented the Republic from becoming the Galactic Empire? Again, less optimistic here, no. In the Star Wars lore, Palpatine had almost complete control of the Senate. Not to mention the Grand Army of the Republic, and ultimately the Confederacy of Independent Systems as well. Even if Palpatine himself could have been removed from the equation, the outcome is still very negative for the Republic. Palpatine's subordinates in positions of power throughout the Republic, such as Masameda and Tarkin, could have easily seized control. What is more likely, however, is that a new, corrupt, and bureaucratic chancellor would be elected and the Empire would stagnate. Corruption was already at an all-time high, and the senators in league with Palpatine would be far more likely to implement changes to the Constitution. So in the end, if Sidious was removed from power, maybe we wouldn't have a full-blown galactic empire, but the rotting corpse of the Republic wouldn't be pretty either. In the Star Wars lore, Palpatine had already implemented the system of Moffs as regional governors before his duel with Yoda. So for all intents and purposes, they controlled what was left of the Republic and of course the newly formed Galactic Empire. The chances are things wouldn't be as bad as the Galactic Empire in canon, but the Clone Wars had already done more than enough damage to the systems of government and the Constitution that it really didn't matter who was leading the Empire. Also, the infighting and civil war between the Moffs which occurred after Palpatine's death in Return of the Jedi would also have occurred if Yoda had defeated Sidious in Revenge of the Sith, leading the Empire straight from a civil war into another civil war. Not to mention there would be no guarantees that the Confederacy of Independent Systems could not rise again. So ultimately, if Yoda beat Sidious, it wouldn't have mattered. Sure, the Sith wouldn't control the Republic anymore, but neither would the Jedi. And the damage to the Constitution through the Moffs was already done. The Republic was dead and the Empire had risen through its ashes to take its place. So even if the fight had turned out much differently, Yoda would not have been able to change what Palpatine had put in motion. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think would have happened if Yoda defeated Sidious? Do you think Yoda could have destroyed the newborn Empire, or do you think he would have gone into exile anyway? Also, I just want to quickly apologize. As I'm recording this video, I'm actually losing my voice. So if, as you were listening to the video, my voice got progressively worse, then I'm very, very sorry. I'll try and improve my voice for next time, but I can barely talk as it is. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and may the Force be with you.